out purely. So we were talking about the eighth quality of Krishna, that is Sarvabhuteshu Kohitaha, that he is the well-wisher of all living entities. And then I mentioned that Lord Ram is the presiding deity for compassion. So one prays to Lord Ram to develop this quality of compassion and to receive compassion. So until the very last moment, we see that Lord Ram was willing to forgive Ravan. In fact, he kept sending him these messages, and that you return Sita, and so he's despite everything that Ravan had done, that he had kidnapped Sita, and he was constantly insulting and refusing. But till the last moment, Lord Ram, he kept sending these messages to Ravan that tell him that there is no need for this bloodshed. He returns Sita and I will go back. And he has my word that I will be protected. Of course, Ravan was proud, he didn't extend it. But Lord Ram, he extended his compassion to not only Ravan, but to all the associates of Ravan. When Vibhishan came, he immediately accepted him. Not because he wanted inside information from Vibhishan, but because Vibhishan had taken shelter of him. When he came to the ashram of Shabari, then whatever simple, the story of Shabari is famous, right? That she had collected berries for him. And because she wanted to make sure they were the best quality berries, she had taken a bite out of them. And only the ones that were really sweet, she kept for Ram. And Lakshman was upset about it. But Lord Ram, he didn't even notice it. For him, it was an endearing quality. And he gave liberation to Shabari. His citizens in Ayodhya, he took all of them back to Ayodhya Puri, to the spiritual world, along with him. And even to this day, Lord Ram, he, especially in the house of Grahasthas, they keep, in ISKCON, Lord, because the focus is on worship of Krishna, but lot of Grahasthas, they have deities of what is considered to be Ram Parivar, which is Ram, Sita, Lakshman, and Hanuman, for auspiciousness there. So that was his quality of Sarvabhuteshu Kohitaha. Ninth quality is Vidwan, that he is knowledgeable. And of course, he is knowledgeable because he is the source of all the Vedas. But we see that in every dealing, whether he is having conversations with the sages, whether he is having conversation with Bharat or Lakshman, so he is always speaking in accordance to the scriptures. So for him, the scriptures and the guru were the two main source of guidance. And he was very knowledgeable in the scriptures, and he was very surrendered to the sadhus and the gurus. 10th quality is Smartaha. So Smartaha means that he is most skillful. So we see that when he was taken by Vishwamitra to Tarka, etc. Then before that, Vishwamitra said, I need to teach you the science of these divine weapons. And in a very short period of time, Lord Ram, he became an expert in the art of mystic weapons. Now, in a way, Lord Ram is the source of all that knowledge, but in playing this pastime of being a Kshatriya, a prince, we could see that he was very skillful in everything he did. He was very skillful in diplomacy. We see that in his interactions with Sugriv. He was very skillful in running the kingdom. Under his rule, the kingdom was flourishing. There are a lot of descriptions of Ram Rajya, that the citizens, they did not have locks on their doors. There was no parents that ever had to lament for their children. There were no women who were unprotected. There were no parents who were not well taken care of. So in all respects, it was a reflection of how Lord Ram, he according to the scriptural injunctions, he was running the kingdom. And of course, he was a skillful warrior. That we see that in so many interactions. When he was fighting with Khar and Dushan, then he asked Lakshman to protect Sita Devi. And Khar Dushan had come with an army of 14,000 soldiers. And Lord Ram, all alone, in almost no time at all, he annihilated the entire army. 11th quality is that he is Ekapriya Darshana. So Ekapriya Darshan means that he is two meanings. One is that he is uniquely pleasing to look at. Also means that one would have to look at Lord Ram only once to fall in love with him. Ekadarshan. Just once by seeing Lord Ram, one became completely attracted to him. So he embodies that mood of beauty, of the personality of Godhead. In the Bal Leela of Lord Ram, even though it is not as extensively described as Krishna's Bal Leela, but we see glimpses of that. When he was in the forest and Suparnakha looked at him, she became so attracted to him that despite the fact she knew that Sita Devi was there with him, she could not control herself. And even after that, when she conspired with Ravan, her main aim was to somehow become, to get Lord Ram. And I had earlier on mentioned that wherever Lord Ram went, then everybody, their hearts would open to him. 12th quality is that he is Atmavan. Atmavan is self-confident, that he had courage in his convictions. So we see Lord Ram relentlessly pursuing Ravan till the very end. That nothing, once he had made up his mind, nothing could disrupt his conviction. Whatever vows he made, he stayed true to them. He never wavered from his vows. 13th quality is Jit Krodha, one who has controlled his anger. So in the pastimes that were very emotionally charged, we see that Lord Ram, he remains always calm and composed. that when he was summoned to the chambers of Kekai, then it was a very emotionally surcharged environment. Dashrath was lying on the floor, and his hairs were all untied and awry. He was crying and lamenting. Kekai was angry and determined. So it was very, very emotionally charged. And Lord Ram, he stayed calm throughout the whole interaction. When he went back and he gave the news, then Lakshman, he picked up his bow and he said, I will go and kill Dashrath right away. And then Lord Ram, he counsels him. Lakshman has a bit of a temper. So one of the things that Lord Ram keeps doing is that he keeps pacifying Lakshman. When Bharat was coming to take Lord Ram back, then Lakshman thought that Bharat was coming to kill him. And quickly he says that, I'll climb this forest, and from the vantage point, I will shoot my arrows, I will kill Bharat and the rest of the army. And then Lord Ram says, no, have faith in our brother. So he never displayed anger towards Bharat or Kekai or Dashrath. Even Ravan, it is said that Ravan was burnt by the anger of Sita Devi. Lord Ram, he simply served her. Earlier on in the forest, when Lord Ram had made this arrangement with Sugriv that I will kill Vali and in return you will help me find Sita. So Lord Ram kept his part of the bargain, but Sugriv forgot. So when he was reinstated as the ruler, he became very engrossed in enjoying with his wives, and because he was living in an exile for a long time. And Lakshman was very angry, and he said, let me go there and I will kill that monkey. But Lord Ram, he said, just go and have a dialogue with him. And of course, Sugriv realized his mistake and did the needful. Then 14th quality is that he is Dyutiman. So Dyutiman means brilliant, effulgent. So he was effulgent by his persona and he was effulgent by his qualities. That everywhere that he went, even though he was humble and modest, he became the center of attention. Whether he was in Ayodhya, whether he was in the forest, whether he was in Lanka, everywhere that he went, then because of his natural effulgence, people were attracted to him. Even Ravan and Kumbhakaran. So when Kumbhakaran came and with a plan to kill Lord Ram, and then when he saw Lord Ram, then seeing the effulgence of Lord Ram, he could understand that this is the personality of Godhead. And then the conversation between Kumbhakaran and Lord Ram is almost like a conversation between the Lord and his devotee. Kumbhakaran says, I can understand who you are. I can also understand that the time for the end of my life is also coming. I also know that what my brother did is not right. And then Lord Ram said that you have time. You come to my shelter and everything will be forgiven. But of course, Kumbhakaran was demoniac also by nature. He did not. And he said that I'm bound by my duty to my brother. So I have to. He has been the provider for me. He's like a father to me. So I have to follow through. And of course, there is the aftermath of the fight when Lord Ram finally kills Kumbhakaran. Similarly, when Ravan came, now Ravan had never seen Lord Ram before. When Ravan came into the battlefield, So before coming to the battlefield, he had asked, how will I recognize this person by the name Ram? And then they said that the most effulgent personality in the battlefield will be Lord Ram. And when Ravan entered the battlefield, then he could see Lord Ram. And Lord Ram did not even have a chariot. Ravan came on a chariot with hundreds of, well, somebody says that his chariots were driven by asses, somebody says by divine beings, but he had a magnificent chariot. It was all coated with gold and loaded with all kinds of weapons. And there was Lord Ram there. He was dressed in jungle clothes, on his feet, with just a bow and arrow. But Ravan immediately saw him. Of course, later on when the battle proceeded, then Indra gave his own chariot to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram ascended on that chariot with Mitali as the charioteer. 15th quality is that he was anasuyaka, that he was not jealous. So when he returned to Ayodhya, he was actually very happy to see the kingdom flourishing under Bharat. So he did not enter into Ayodhya. He actually camped on the outskirts of Ayodhya. And then he sent a message to Bharat through Hanuman that whatever you want is fine. If you want, Lord Ram will go back to the forest. If you want, he will come and he will serve under you. So whatever you want is fine. And Lord Ram was genuine about it. He wasn't posturing. He was like keen to see the glories of his brother grow. Later on, when Mathura was under the dominion of the demon Lavanasur, then the Brahmins came and asked for protection. And Lord Ram said, okay, I'll go. And then Shatrughan said, no, I will go. And of course, Shatrughan said in the mood of service to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram was anxious to glorify Shatrughan also. So he said, okay, you should go. So he gave Shatrughan his own. So Lord Ram used to worship a deity of Krishna. So he gave him his own personal deity of Krishna, saying that after you kill Lavanasur, you establish a temple over there, establish this deity of Krishna, and you worship the deity there. So the deity became famous as the Madan Mohan deity. So our temple has Radha Madan Mohan, which is of course a Pratibhu deity, but the original Madan Mohan was actually worshipped by Lord Ram. Then we also see that how he takes the humble position that when wanting to cross the ocean, so even though Samudradev is a demigod and his position is much inferior to that of Lord Ram, but for 3 days Lord Ram fasts and worships Samudradev. Only when Samudradev still does not respond, then he becomes angry. Similarly, when he returns from after killing Ravan and Lanka, on the instructions of the Brahman, because Ravan was a Brahman himself, or he was a son of a Brahman. So on the instructions of the Brahman, he worships Lord Shiva. So for those who have visited the Rameshwaram temple, even though it's a temple, it has Lord Ram there. Rameshwaram means Lord Ram's worshipable Lord. But there is a Shivling over there. The primary altar has Shivling, which Lord Ram, actually Sita Devi had formed that Shivling. So there's a pastime behind that he had initially asked Hanuman to go and get the shivling from the Himalayas. So when Hanuman had gone and it was taking time for him, so the priests who were doing the puja, the yajna, so they said that the auspicious time is going away. So we have to make some arrangements. So then at that time Sita Devi, with the mud over there, she quickly mixes some water and makes a shivling. So just when the worship is starting, Hanuman also comes back with his own shivling. And Lord Ram is in a bit of a quandary because Hanuman is attached to the fact that his shivling is worshipped. And Sita Devi is attached to the fact that the shivling that she created gets worshipped. So then Lord Ram finally tells Hanuman that this shivling created by Sita Devi, you can remove the shivling and put your own shivling over there. Hanuman said okay, because she had just taken some mud and water and made it. But Hanuman could not move that shivling. And then finally, in desperation, he wraps his tail around the shivling, and with all his force, he tries to uproot the shivling. But the shivling still doesn't move. So then Hanuman understands that this is the desire of Lord Ram. So, but in order to appease Hanuman, Lord Ram first did the worship of the shivling that was established by Sita Devi, and then he did the worship of the shivling that Hanuman had born. So in the temple there is the main altar, and if the priests allow you, or if you give enough dakshina, you can actually go close to the altar, and at the base of the shivling there are marks of, as if it's like a rope, which are the marks of the tail of Lord Hanuman. And there's a shivling on the side also, which was the one that was bought by Hanuman. Now, the pastime of Rameshwaram does not appear in Valmiki Ramayana. That it appears in the Puranic Ramayana, in the Adhyatmic Ramayana. And the 16th quality of Lord Ram, so he has 16 qualities, I'm sorry I said 18, he has 16 qualities, is Kashya Bibhyati Devaha Chajata Roshasya Samyuge. So, the personality of Lord Ram is feared by everyone when he is angry. So despite all these qualities that he has of being equipoised, equibalanced, calm, there are times when he gets angry. And when he gets angry, then even the gods fear him. When he got angry at Parshuram, then Parshuram, who himself is an incarnation of Krishna, he surrendered to him. But even then Lord Ram did not spare him. He said that my arrow is in my bow, and the arrow has to find a target. So then Parshuram, he offers all the pious credits, and Lord Ram takes it away. Similarly with Samudradev. Similarly with Ravan, who was actually a lot more powerful than the Devas there. So these are the 16 qualities of Lord Ram. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the pastimes of Lord Ram that appear to be apparently bewildering. Because we have spoken about the perfection of Lord Ram. So when we talk about the perfection of Lord Ram, then somebody will invariably talk about some of these pastimes. Then how do you explain this pastime with respect to the perfect person? So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but before that I'll take a pause, see if there is any thoughts or any comments on what we have discussed so far.
Krishna Prabhuji. Surpanaka was attracted at some point to Lord Ram in conjugal mode. So her mood is fulfilled in be it Krishna avatar or any other pastime, or really is that conjugal that her feelings are?
There is some, it's not in Ramayana, but there is some pastime of Supernakha, in subsequent, because she obviously does not die in the battle. She is disfigured, but I don't remember. It's not there in, like I said, it's not there in Valmiki Ramayana. It's in some of the Puranas, where it talks about what subsequently happened to Supnaka there. But I don't know the details of that. Okay. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Comments? Okay. So
Prabhuji,
yeah, Piyali, go ahead.
yeah, as you were talking about this pastime where where Hanuman had brought over a shivling as well, and he couldn't move the shivling that had been made by Sita Devi. I just googled for images, and you can see a lot of images that kind of display that as well. Yeah.
Or the mark of Hanuman's tail.
Yeah. Just a commentary.
Yeah, we had actually, we when we visited the temple, then there was somebody along with us, and then he spent a lot of time. It's a very mystical temple, one of the 4 dhams. And
yes, I've been there.
You've been there, right? And at night, then Lakshmi Devi comes to the chambers of Lord Ram. Everything is like done very, very pakka, very nicely. We stayed there for a day. I mean, we were in the temple for a day. It's also interesting that around the temple, they will sell you the rocks that Ram threw on the ocean to make it float. And it's a bit of a trick. They're actually limestones, the pieces of limestones, but they don't let you touch it. And there's, so it's also a tourist place. So, tourists are prime targets for being fleeced. So one person said, I can give you this rock, a piece of the rock that was used by Lord Ram to build the bridge. And I said, okay, I knew it's like Treta Yuga. And then, he gave me a piece of small rock. He did tilak, he did arti of the rock, and he gave it to me. And it actually floated on water. When I took it home, then everybody said, this is limestone. Of course, it will float on water. It's porous. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Haribol Prabhu. So, Prabhuji, you mentioned that, whoever invites Prabhu Ram to their home, they were like captivated at once. How do we develop the mood of that invitation in the current day and age?
So, thank you, Prabhu. That's a good question. So it's very much like if you're inviting a guest to your house, and you know the greatness of the guest, you know the qualities of the guest, then your eagerness to receive the guest and serve them in the house, it increases proportionately. So that's why there is so much of focus on Shravan and Kirtan. That if we listen to the pastimes of Lord Ram, listen to the acharyas talk about his different qualities, his characteristics, then our hearts will yearn to have Lord Ram in our house. Very much like our relationship with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that most of us did not know or knew very peripherally about him. That there is Mahaprabhu, and for me, I hadn't heard about them. When I first went to the ISKCON temple, I actually thought that they were Radha Krishna in a different form, dancing form. And for a while, actually, this is not just the first time. For a while that I was going, I used to just give obeisances, thinking they're Radha Krishna. And then only later on, then somebody told that no, this is Gauranitai, and then over time, where you hear about him, who he is, what are his qualities, his compassion, his affection, his mercy, and then you invite him to the house, because you become attracted to him. So we have Nitai Sachisuta in our house. Sometimes when we send pictures to our family members, they ask that where is Radha Krishna. They consider the altar to be even this is maybe more in northern India, but even for people who are not followers of Krishna, they will keep a deity of Krishna in their altar. Like my mother, she's a staunch follower of Durga Devi, but she still has Krishna on the altar. She says, how can I have an altar without Krishna? There. And then the CR altar, there's no Krishna there. At least there's no, Krishna, the son of Yashoda, over there. But that's because through Shastra Chakshu, and by hearing from those who are advanced, so we understand that Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. So when we have Mahaprabhu in our house, we have Krishna in our house. So through this process of Shravan Kirtan, we will, we develop our attraction and we open our hearts and houses.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just one question. I saw on Ram Navami, some people do dress Gaurnitai like Lord Ram, give the bow and arrow. I don't know, it is okay when you celebrate Ram Navami.
So Mahaprabhu once he displayed a form, right, in which he displayed the form of Lord Ram, the Shadbhuja form. So he had 2 arms of Krishna, 2 arms of Ram, and 2 arms of Sannyasi there. I don't know if they displayed that form of Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu is Avatari, so one can understand that all the incarnations are within him.
Prabhuji, one question. Since we know that Hanumanji is the incarnation of Shivji, right? How do we understand that Hanumanji himself are trying to uproot the Shivling?
He's an Amsha. So Hanuman is considered to be one of the Amshas of Lord Shiv. It's not really in the category of incarnation. My understanding is more like empowered. Like we have Shakti Vesh, she's empowered. Empowered by Lord Shiv. But I think that particular pastime, it's just Leela, that he was trying to remove one Shivling to put another Shivling. So he had gotten his own shivling, and he said, and Lord Hanuman, he had a very, even though his predominant bhav is dasya, but mixed with, he considered Ram and Sita to be his parents. So he had a very strong mood of, of children who become, when they become attached to something, they said, whatever happens, this needs to do. So Hanuman had that kind of a mood. That Lord Ram many times would try and pacify Hanuman. Later on, you see in Ayodhya that once he was watching Sita Devi put sindoor on her forehead, or on the part in the hair, and then he asks her, "Why are you putting this?" And she says that because when Lord Ram sees me like this, he becomes happy. He says, "Okay." He comes back after some time, and his whole body is full of sindoor. And Sita Devi says, "What have you done?" And he says, "You're just putting one pinch of sindoor. I have taken a whole bucket of sindoor and put it. So can you imagine how happy Lord Ram will be when he sees me?" So that's why in many of the temples, you'll see that Hanuman deity is smeared with sindoor to honor that pastime. And when Lord Ram was distributing at the end of the battle, he was in Ayodhya, he was distributing wealth to everybody. So when Hanuman's chance came, then he gave a very, very beautiful, valuable pearl necklace. So Hanuman took it, and then he broke it, and he started looking at each of the pearls and throwing it away. And Sita Devi said, "What are you doing?" And she said, Hanuman said, "This is useless." She said, "How can you say this is useless? Lord Ram has given it to you." And he said, "Yeah, but I'm looking into this pearls. There is no Ram there. What's the point in me getting a gift if there is Ram is not there?" So his mood is that of a child. So he, the children, once they get attached to something, then they just get attached to it. Even though Hanuman, he is considered to be Param Gyani. Right? In the earlier pastime, we see that Lord Ram, he received instructions from Suryadev, and he is considered to be an expert in the scriptures. But he takes on that mood of a child with the Lord.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So let us see some of the pastimes of Lord Ram that seem to go against the conception of Lord Ram being the perfect everything. So the first one, I think we have discussed a few times, is the killing of Tatak. That how did Lord Ram, being a Kshatriya and a man, kill a woman? And we understand that it was because of the instructions of his guru, Vishwamitra, and because it was to protect religiosity. It was for the greater benefit, because Tarka was creating havoc amongst the sages. So for all these reasons, the killing of a woman is justified. Then the use of Brahmastra against the crow. So sometimes people say that, why use the Brahmastra against a crow? And the pastime is that this crow was actually Jayanta, the son of Indra. And when he saw Sita Devi, he became very attracted to her. And he took the form of a crow, and he started flying over her, touching her, and Sita Devi became frightened. So then Lord Ram, he throws the Brahmastra at the crow. And of course, when Jayanta saw the Brahmastra, then he surrendered to Lord Ram, and then Lord Ram forgives him. So he directs the Brahmastra at the eye of the crow, which is why it said crow has one eye. Why did he chastise Parshuram? That Parshuram was a great sage. He was the partial incarnation of Krishna. And in all respects, he was superior to Lord Ram. So he was much older, he was a sage, and he was steeped in devotion and asceticism. So why did Lord Ram chastise Parshuram? Does that not indicate pride on the part of Lord Ram? So actually this pastime shows the mercy of Lord Ram, that he cannot tolerate pride in his devotees. That Parshuram, over the period of time that he was one of the most feared personalities, especially by the Kshatriyas. And because of that, he had developed a lot of pride. And so it is said that when Parshuram approached the procession of Ram, so they had married Ram to Sita Devi. They were going back to Ayodhya. Dashrath was there, and it was obviously a mood of gaiety and happiness. And then Parshuram comes. So the few times that we see Lord Ram becoming angry is in the context of his devotees. So Dashrath was very fearful of Parshuram. Why? Because Dashrath was a Kshatriya, and Parshuram had taken this vow to kill Kshatriya, and he had already done so many times. So according to the Adhyatmic Puran, earlier on, whenever Parshuram would come to Ayodhya to fight with Dashrath, Dashrath would enter into a marriage ceremony. Because according to the codes of war, you can't fight with somebody who is in the process of getting married. So Parshuram would go back and say, okay, I'll come later on. And he would come later on, and as soon as Dashrath found out, he would again marry. So in this way, Dashrath married 350 times. So in addition to his 3 primary wives, he had 350 other wives. And it was not really to marry, but it was to protect himself from Parshuram. So at some point, I'm guessing Parshuram got tired of it and said, okay, let him be. But when he came, and then Dashrath, in his mind, he thought that Parshuram had come to fulfill his vow and kill him. And when Lord Ram, he saw the fear on the face of his father, he became angry. And that is another reason why he chastised Parshuram. Some other pastime that why did he hide and kill Vali? According to the rules of the battle, you should fight with your enemy face to face. So after Ram had killed Vali, Vali did not die immediately, but he lay dying. And then Lord Ram comes in front of him. And Vali himself, he is learned in the scriptures, so they have a debate. Vali says that, how can you call yourself a Kshatriya? That according to the rules of engagement, you should not attack an enemy from behind when the enemy is sleeping, or when he is intoxicated, or he is otherwise careless. So in all these circumstances, you should not attack. Now in my case, I was engaged in battle with Sugriv, and you attacked me from hiding like a coward. So everything that Vali says is actually correct. So this is one of the pastimes that the acharyas say that it goes to show the divinity of Lord Ram. That he is God and he can do anything, but he will still not be touched with sin. So we see that a lot in Krishna, because Krishna never hid his divinity. So right from the beginning, he was carte blanche doing everything and anything, because he is God. And that's the nature of God, that he is supremely independent. That he gives the modes, but he is not controlled by the modes. He gives the scriptures, but he is not bound by the scriptures. So one of the reasons is that this reflects the divinity of Lord Ram. Another reason that is given here is that in order to protect his devotee, Lord Ram is willing to undergo infamy. So Lord Ram was in a very difficult situation with respect to Bali, because Bali had this benediction from Brahma that anybody that he would fight with, he would acquire half his strength. So Bali was practically unconquerable. It is said that when Ravan heard about Bali, and he wanted to, because again he was a powerful person, he wanted to test his strength against Bali. So in the morning, Bali would stand at one end of the cliff to do his morning worship. So Ravan, he snuck from behind him to attack him from behind. And Bali, he almost casually, he captured Ravan in his tail. And despite all his strength, Ravan could not free himself from the tail of Bali. And not only did Bali capture him in his tail, but he jumped all over the face of the earth with Ravan hanging behind on his tail. And just to show everybody that this is the plight of the king of the Rakshasas. And then finally Ravan, he started appeasing Bali, and he said, I have no enmity to you and you should forgive me. So then almost negligently Bali released Ravan and asked him to go away. So that was the power of Bali. So Lord Ram knew that if he came before Bali, then Bali would become inestimably, infinitely powerful. But he did not want to dishonor the benediction given by Brahma. But then at the same time, he did not want to put Sugriv into anxiety. So he wanted to protect the benediction of Brahma. He wanted to protect Sugriv. So he sacrificed his own reputation. And then he took on this role of attacking somebody from behind. In the debate that happens between Bali and Lord Ram puts slightly different reasons, and in the end Bali accepts it, and he says that you're the personality of Godhead, I accept it, and whatever you have done is right. So he just asked him extracted a promise from Ram to protect his son Angad, which Lord Ram does. And according to Acharyas, Ram gave an opportunity to Bali to get even with him. So when he came as Krishna, and his final pastime, he was in Prabhat Kshetra, and he was lying down under the banyan tree. And Bali at that point had taken birth as a hunter. So when he saw the tip of the feet of Krishna, he mistook it for a deer, and he shot an arrow at the feet. And the tip of the arrow was made from the same ball that was cursed by Durvasha and the other rishis, that would cause the annihilation of the Yaduvanshi. So when as the hunter Vali realizes what he does, he comes and asks for forgiveness from Krishna, and then Krishna says, "No, don't worry. Now we are even." So this does not appear in the Bhagavatam, and does not appear in the Ramayana, but appears in some of the minor Puranas. Some other pastimes, that if Lord Ram is described as so tolerant and self-controlled, then why did he lament so much when he found that Sita Devi was kidnapped? So there is a very heart-wrenching description of Lord Ram when he finds that Sita Devi has been kidnapped. So he's shedding tears, and he becomes so bewildered that he's running to trees and asking them that, "Have you seen Janaki?" And at different places he falls down almost as if unconscious. So this pastime, it shows two aspects of the Lord. One is, it shows his strong affection for his devotees. That Lord Ram, he was very tolerant when the trials and tribulations were directed against him, but very intolerant of any injustice or any harm that is done to his devotees. So at the kidnapping of Sita Devi, we see this form of Lord Ram lamenting. We see the similar form of Lord Ram lamenting when Lakshman is rendered unconscious by the arrows of Indrajit. That he's almost becoming unconscious. So it displays the uncommon affection, the uncommon love that the Lord has for his devotees, that he even forgets his own divinity. Because what is not possible for Lord Ram? Everything is possible. But he's so attracted to his devotees that he completely gets absorbed in the mood. But he's always God. So it is said that when Lord Ram was lamenting this way at the disappearance of Sita Devi, then Lord Shiva's wife, Sati, she was observing this pastime. And she turns to her husband and she says that, "Are you sure he is Vishnu?" Lord Shiva said, "Yes." She says, "I don't think so. Look at how he is like a common person. He's crying and lamenting. I don't think." Lord Shiva said, "You trust me. I'm telling you, he's none other than Lord Vishnu himself." And of course, Sati, she was not fully satisfied. So then she assumes the form of Sita Devi. And she appears on the path of Lord Ram. So as soon as Lord Ram sees Sati disguised as Sita Devi, he immediately gives obeisances. And he addresses her as the wife of Lord Shiva. So he never lost his divinity, but he was so absorbed in his love for his devotees. Srila Prabhupada says that Lord Ram does this pastime to also warn us about the impact of excessive material attachment with women. That Prabhupada says that even the Lord can lose his equilibrium because of his excessive attachment to his wife. So it goes as a lesson that it should be in moderation. Then another pastime, that after Lord Ram defeated Ravan, he does not speak to Sita Devi. Even though Sita Devi is now free, he tells Lakshman that she can go wherever she wants, and he does not even look at her. So this pastime is actually is revealed by the intricacies of the pastime is revealed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Kurma Puran. And the pastime related to that is that the Sita that was kidnapped by Ravan is what is called Maya Sita. So there is a backstory to it, that there was a lady called Vedavati, and she was performing intense austerities to have Lord Vishnu as her husband. So she was Ravan saw her and he was very attracted to her. So he tried to molest her, but then Vedavati curses him, saying that I'll be the cause of your death, and then she immolates herself. So she enters into the fire. So then it is said that it is the same Vedavati that came out of the fire and was kidnapped by Ravan. So because Lord Ram, he had no interest in anybody but his wife, when Maya Sita or Vedavati appeared, then Lord Ram, he did not even look at her. But when Sita Devi took Agni Pariksha, when she entered the fire, then Agni Dev, who was holding the original Sita Devi, he returned the original Sita Devi, and then Lord Ram, he happily accepted her. Another explanation, which is a little less esoteric, is that Lord Ram did this to demonstrate the chastity of Sita Devi. So even though Lord Ram personally, he never doubted the chastity, but he knew that as a king, as a prominent personality, he has to live up to the scrutiny of the masses. So the fact that his wife was living in the captivity of a lusty Rakshas who was famous for violating women would cast a shadow over Sita Devi, and Lord Ram did not want that to happen. So he asked Sita Devi to do the Agni Pariksha so that everybody would be satisfied about her chastity and her purity, which more or less worked, but again we know that it did not work completely. Why did he banish Sita Devi to the forest? So this is one of the more difficult pastimes to understand, and the Acharyas explain that it is easy for the glorification of somebody if it also results in your own glorification. So for instance, you're called to the stage to speak a few words of praise for somebody else, then generally the people, they will glorify the object, but in doing so they themselves get glorified. They'll say, I know this person, we worked on this research together, or he's a good friend of mine and we are close associates. So when they are glorifying the other person, they are themselves also getting glorified. That's the natural. That's the natural tendency of people. It is very difficult for a person to glorify somebody at the cost of the person acquiring infamy. This is one of those cases that Lord Ram, in order to glorify Sita Devi, glorify her for what? Glorify her for her chastity. Glorify her for being the mother of the kingdom. Glorify her for her steadfastness. He took infamy on himself. So, some of the acharyas say that when the washerman was chastising his wife and by comparing her with Sita Devi, more than Lord Ram, Sita Devi was affected by it. That she did not want to be in a situation where she would be the cause of strife or immorality in her kingdom. Because just like Lord Ram is the father, Lord Sita is the mother of the kingdom. And the mother is a lot more compassionate and affectionate towards the children. So Lord Ram understood the desire of Sita Devi, that she does not want to be the cause of creating any kind of disturbance in the kingdom. Now Sita Devi could not have gone on her own, because that would have been against the wishes of her husband. So Lord Ram did that as a service to Sita Devi. So he achieved so many things, that he fulfilled the inner desire of Sita Devi, he protected his kingdom, and he placed Sita Devi on a pedestal of eternal glorification. And the price that he paid willingly for this was that he himself was considered to be at fault for this. So again, Lord Ram is the presiding deity of compassion. So this is his compassion to everyone but himself. His compassion to Sita Devi, compassion to the citizens of his country, but not to himself. So these are some of the pastimes that people discuss in Ramayana, of course in a lot more details than we did over here. So I'll stop over here and see if we have any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One more aspect, Prabhuji, which doesn't sound very common in Lord Ram's pastime is when Marich came disguised as deer and he left on the insistence of Sita Mata, and then Lakshman also left. So even though we know it's the pastime, but Lord Ram being Lord Ram, how could he not figure this out? And that also does not sound very common, that when he had killed so many demons and he was so intelligent. So that act also sounds little bit.
So your question is that did he actually... So the understanding there is that so this is a conversation that happens between Lord Ram and Lakshman. So if it was just a deer that he was following, he would not have left Lakshman to guard Sita Devi. So from the beginning he knew that this was a demon, especially because he became a deer with golden antlers and with all kind of jewels appearing on his skin. So uh, um, to anybody, it would have been clear that this is not a normal deer. But then Lord Ram also, he tells Lakshman that I've taken the vow to annihilate demons. I want to protect the sages. So this is obviously a mischievous demon who was trying to create confusion. So let me go in and take care of him, and you protect Sita Devi in the meantime. The general understanding, some people say, is that he actually thought it was a deer and ran after him to kill the deer. But if you look at the actual conversation that happens in Valmiki Ramayana, Lord Ram acknowledges the fact that there is a more than distinct possibility that this is some Mayavi, and he says, "Let me kill him, otherwise he'll create confusion for others." Now the other part of the question is that, did Lord Ram know that Ravan is going to come and kidnap Sita Devi? That's just Leela. I mean, as a Lord, he knows everything. He knows the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? He has done this. He has played this movie many times, so he knows how it's going to end, right? Scene by scene, he knows. But he's performing his pastimes. Yeah.
Sure, Prabhu. Makes sense, Prabhu. Thank you. But Sita Mata did not know, Prabhu, right? Because she was the one who pushed Lord Ram, saying, "No, I want it," even though Lord Ram little bit warned her. But so she was also participating in the Leela. That's how we can understand.
Yeah. I mean, that part, it's a good question. I don't think people comment on that part, that what was Sita Devi's understanding. But yeah, she was attracted to the deer, and she says, get me the deer. And now, of course, in her eternal form, she knows everything. But at least I think in the past time, she did not.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One question is, like Lord Ram, he came, he descended to protect his devotees, but he beat Hiranyakashipu or Ravan. They are from the beginning Vishnu Dvejis. They tormented, and even I heard that they killed many, Vaishnavas, Vishnu Bhaktas, as part of their atrocities. So, although death is not the only parameter that tells the Lord's protection, but is Lord not protected them, or they left them, or because their devotion is not matured, that is how they got killed in the hands of these demons? Or how should we understand the Lord's protection for those devotees? Because we are all neophytes, and we all seek Lord's protection.
It's unclear. That level of detail is not given. I mean, there was, of course, a lot of atrocities that were committed by Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu and Ravan and Kumbhakarna. They used to eat sages alive, and they used to roast them. So a lot of atrocities that they had committed. But it is unclear about the interaction between, at one end everything happens by the will of Krishna, but at the other end a lot of things happen because of her own free will. So whether the sages, when people leave their body participating in Krishna's pastimes, then many of them get liberation. So in the battle of Kurukshetra, even the Kaurav army, it's mentioned in the it's mentioned that depending on the conception that they had, even the enemy soldiers, they either got Sahaja Mukti or they went to Vaikuntha. And this is even when they were inimical to Krishna and Arjuna. So many times we look at dying as like a big punishment just because we are in that mood, right? The person has died, but it's what happens after the death. That's as significant, also. Okay. If there are no more questions, then we can chant one round of the.
Before one thing.
You have a question, Prabhu?
Yeah, more of a comment or maybe clarification question also probably. So just like you explained, Lord Ram displaying some ordinary human qualities like crying and all because he was absorbed. Same thing or similar pattern we also see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela also, right? Because again, as like Lord Ram did not declare himself as God, like we explained earlier, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came as Chand Avatar, and we see that he displayed so many emotional qualities, crying most of the time, love of separation, displaying those kind of things. So it's pretty similar, Prabhuji, right?
It is, and there's a reason for which the Lord comes in the in the mood of not being the Lord, right? So that was the reason that Valmiki was asked to comment on Lord Ram's pastimes, because when Krishna came as Krishna, then his leelas are there to inspire us, but not for us to follow. There, it's like when you see a typical Hindi movie, nobody tries to follow the hero. The hero is beating out 20 people at one point, and then after that he's singing with the heroine, and he's also coming first in his class, and so he's excelling at everything there. But people get inspired, people enjoy it. People they kind of like to see that. So that was Krishna. He was strong, he was beautiful, he was intelligent. He was a best of everything. But all that best, the best of the best, was for us to be inspired to follow his instructions. That when we see that when a person who is so great is saying something, we should listen to it. But when Lord Ram came, so like Krishna has given us the Gita, there's no book of instructions by Lord Ram, because his life is the instruction. That's what he left behind. This is what you should do as a son. This is what you should do as a king or as a husband. So they come in that mood of not being the Lord, and of course Mahaprabhu was more so in that mood. Lord Ram, if you look at some of the conversations he has with the sages, they glorify him as Lord Vishnu, and Lord Ram accepts the glorification. So while he did not openly demonstrate that, but for those who understood, he did not deny it also. But Mahaprabhu was completely in the mood, except for very, very few cases with very, very, very confidential associates. He was always hiding his divinity.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
The only flip side of, as I was thinking, is like you mentioned when before joining ISKCON, a lot of us did not have that understanding that Nitai Gauranga is actually Krishna, and not everybody today regard him as Lord in the human world. Only within our sampradaya we know that he is Lord Krishna himself. So I don't know, but I see that as a flip side also, that Lord came for our benefit, but not everyone regard him as Lord as it stands today.
Yeah. And I think so of course, by recognizing the divinity of Mahaprabhu, it empowers us more. But for the majority who don't recognize or who are not aware of his divinity, they are aware of his teachings. Because in the current day and age, anywhere that you go, you will see that kirtan is very popular. That of course they do kirtan for devas also, devas and devis. But this whole process of kirtan and sankirtan, that was established by Mahaprabhu there, right?
That
So
is right.
even without knowing it, people are following, and that's what Mahaprabhu's goal was, that he wanted to establish the Yuga Dharma of the holy name. So many people, they'll chant Ram's name, so many people chant Krishna's name, people will chant different, because one way or the other, that is the primary method, and one way or the other, most of the people follow it. You won't see a lot of people doing mystic yogas or trying to make progress by study of the scriptures. Primary method is they follow is through the holy name.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yeah, it clarifies without.
And also, as Prabhuji was saying, I was thinking even Lord Ram and Krishna also, only in India people worship, meaning like those who are with this Sanatana background. And even among Indians, there are very few people know that he is Supreme Lord. So it's all, I think, our own free will also comes to picture. We don't want to spend that much time to know who is Lord. And just sharing thoughts, Prabhuji.
So I have a question on the chat, that when Sita Devi joined Lord Ram to go to the forest, why didn't Lakshman's wife join him to go to the forest? So it's a good question. I wanted to see if anybody has any thoughts about it.
Okay, actually.
Go ahead, Ravi Prabhu.
I was thinking it is kind of a part of Leela, because Lakshman primarily is going to serve Lord Ram, not for other purposes, and also that because he was saying it is Leela to kill Indrajit, one should have not be sleeping for the full 14 years and should not have there are certain parameters like not family life, maybe not exactly sure, but something like that is there. So that was also the reason. Even Urmila Devi is also serving Lakshman by not going to forest.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think, I may be wrong, but I think Urmila did express a desire to Lakshman to go with him. But I think Lakshman said that I'm actually just going there to serve Lord Ram and to be with Sita Devi. And as far as my understanding goes, I think Urmila wanted to go, but it was Lakshman who persuaded her to stay back. And then she said, okay, so like you're my husband, and if you want me to stay here, then so be it. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. I think both of you are right. It's in the general it's in the general area that so there's an interesting pastime related to Urmila, that Urmila was an expert artist, and the day before the coronation of Lord Ram, she was very happy. So being an artist, she had this large canvas, and with great love and attention to details, she was making the picture of the coronation of Lord Ram. So she had the the assembly hall with the citizens, the Brahmins sitting and doing yagyas, and she was making the picture of Dashrath placing the crown on the head of Lord Ram, and she did not complete the picture. So now the next day when the coronation was supposed to, or the night before the coronation was supposed to happen, when all this happens, then Lakshman, Lord Ram tells Lakshman, and Lakshman goes back to his palace to inform Urmila. So then Urmila at that time, she is standing in front of her painting, and she already knows that something has gone wrong because she is not able to complete the painting. So when Lakshman comes in, she asks him that what's wrong? Why is Ram not being coronated? Lakshman says, how do you know? Nobody else knows about it. And she said, I know because I've been trying to complete this picture, but I'm just not able to complete it. Not able to make the part of Lord Ram being coronated. So then Lakshman tells her the details, and like Seema mentioned that yes, then she said that okay, you go and I'll go with you. You serve Ram, I'll serve you. And like Ravi Prabhu was saying, that Lakshman, he convinces her not to because he said that the forest is a dangerous place and my service is to Lord Ram and Lord Ram only. If you come along with me, my attention will be distracted. So I will be concerned about protecting you because as a husband, that's my duty. So my attention will be distracted. So because everybody had this strong mood of service to Lord Ram, and this is one of the examples where an action in itself only makes sense in the context of the service. So the service of Sita Devi was to go with Lord Ram, and that's how she served him. The service of Urmila was not to go with Lakshman, and that's how she served Lord Ram. So the actions in themselves are not really that important. What's important is that the intent and the context of that action. And of course, Urmila also stayed back to take care of the mothers because Lakshman says that they are all devastated right now, so they can use all the support. So her service to Lord Ram was to stay back in Ayodhya and serve the mothers of Lord Ram. And Sita Devi's service was to be in the forest and serve him there. So that's the understanding. Does that, so this question came from Divyansh. So does that satisfy Divyansh, Sunil Prabhu?
Yeah, I think he's happy with the answer and he's thanking. But he's just shy to hear.
He had two questions, but one he got the answer.
He did, okay. It's a very nice question. Okay. Anything else? Any other thoughts, or we can start with our chanting?